Okay, why don't we get started? So similar to yesterday, this is the opportunity for us to get feedback from everybody as an alliance that we can guide our work moving forward together. We've heard a lot this morning about provincial, territorial collaboration, what's needed. We talked about how there needs to be some coordination amongst the governments in this country. So this session really is going to be looking at what our members can do in your respective regions, but also what do you guys want us to push for as an alliance at the FPT tables, the federal, provincial, territorial table when those things are set up. So that's the conversation we're going to have right now. There is chart paper, there is markers and stickies, sticky notepads, post-it notes. I think that's the right term on your table. So we're going to dive straight into it. So if we can, here's my slide. There we are. So take a minute to think about the questions individually, and you're going to write your response on the sticky notes. Okay. So everybody's going to take their own sticky notes and write your own response to the question. Then what you're going to do is take your sticky note and put it on the poster board when we're all ready. And then we're going to discuss your response when you stick it on with the group at the table. And then there's going to be specific instructions if there's a facilitator at your table, or I'll just kind of do it from up here. That's possible. So have the sticky notes, think about it yourself, write it down, then put it on, and then we will continue the discussion. And they're having fun over there already, so that's great. So the first question we have when we got 15 minutes for this is, if you had a chance to add something to that federal, provincial, territorial meeting, that dialogue, what would that be? What topic would you want to add? So take a minute, think about it, and then write it on your sticky note. If it's more than one thing, that's okay. You can take 2 sticky notes, or if you can fit on one, that's fine as well. And what would be the topics top of mind, thinking about where you live, in your context, in your jurisdiction? What would you want what topic would you want to add to that conversation? So we got 15 minutes. So take a moment to think, write it down. When you stick it on the question 1 sheet, have a discussion around that for 15 minutes. Okay, we're going to wrap up this first question. I know I'm the bad guy interrupting good conversation at tables. That's my role. So this first question, we talked about the topics. What are the topics you want to add into that discussion? The second question is about action. So maybe based on the topics, or maybe it's something separate that you heard this morning. What actions do you want the federal, provincial, territorial governments to commit to in the context of coming together? So when they're coming together, when all these governments are coming together, what actions do you want them to commit to? So again, take a moment, take the time you need to think about it, write it on your stickies, and then I will let you know once you're done writing what to do. Okay, so don't stick it anywhere yet. I'll let you know. So think about it, write it on your stickies, and I'll give you 5 minutes for that individually. Okay, I'm going to do my job and interrupt again. So you guys have that? No, we're not. This is part of the 10 minutes. So I'm going to need one brave individual from each table. And your job is to take question 2 chart paper, and you're going to draw this. Okay, so make a big diagram, a line across and a line down. And what you're going to do on the left side of the horizontal line, you're going to write low effort. On the right side of that horizontal line, it's going to say high effort. On the top is going to be high impact. And on the bottom is going to be lower impact. Okay. So let's have one person on the chart paper. Just make a big plus sign cross and put high, low effort and high, low impact. So as that person from each table is doing that, the rest of us are going to continue in this discussion on those same questions. So topics, and now we're talking about actions. Let's try to prioritize those actions. You might want to think about it, what's going to take a lot of work? What's going to be the ones that are going to take a lot of effort? These actions are going to take a lot of effort. You can think about it in terms of time it's going to take, or in terms of resources. Think about it that way. And then also think about then, okay, which ones are going to be the most impactful which actions are going to be the most impactful. And we'll spend the rest of the time doing that. Now, at this point, I hope you have stickies across that question 2 chart paper. We're going to go to the next part, and we used this yesterday on Slido. Let me just make sure we can, nope. So I'm gonna need some help in terms of how people are gonna get on Slido on this one. There we are. Okay, there the help comes. So take a picture of that QR code, or you can join at slido.com, and there's the number at the bottom. And what you're gonna do, we're gonna make a word cloud. So looking at the sheet that you have in your own voice and your own perspective from your context, we looked at topics, we looked at actions. What are the top priority actions mentioned at your table that you want to put up there? Or as you see the word cloud appear, you might see other ones that, hey, actually, I like this one as well. And you can type that in and that word gets bigger. So in the end, I know it's really hard to get everybody's voice up here. This is the best way to collect that. So as you enter words, or if you see words up there that you resonate with you, type the same word in and it'll get bigger. It's sort of our way to sort of vote to see, hey, what are we hearing across different tables? I saw some people going from table to table. Hey, they have the same stuff as we do. So it's kind of neat to even hear that in the room, but we'll be able to see that on the word cloud. So feel free to do that. Think about what you have on your piece of paper and then type in your words. There we are. The big F word. Funding, just to clarify. And for those online, I know they've had a nice jam board up there as well, doing their own chart paper. It's been great. So I know some people online had some accessibility issues with Slido. Feel free to put it in the chat and we will reflect it here on the word cloud as well. So we're all sharing it on one screen. Show me the money. That's a good one-word answer. So feel free to look up there and amplify what you see. Decolonize. I like that. Adults training, accountability. Oh. So if you want to do more than one word, you delete 1 or 2 letters and then you add it back. I'm not sure what that means because I don't have it in front of me, but it seems to work. So feel free to look there and cast your vote if something else resonates as well. So I'm seeing there's 86 people still typing on here, so I'm not going to cut this off yet. And just a reminder, after all this, all the chart paper, the information that we're collecting, our staff is going to have a fun job collecting it all, making sure the stickies are in the right place, and really synthesizing this into an impact report that's going to go out to all our members and go to different places as appropriate, to policymakers, to governments. So this is really valuable for us to guide our collective work forward. I'll give 1 more minute for this. Actually, I'm going to leave this running up here. So as people want to add to it during lunch, I think it's kind of nice to have up there. So speaking of lunch, that is coming up. We've gone through a lot this morning. We've heard a lot of great information from the federal level and also at the provincial territorial levels. This afternoon, we're going to be looking at Indigenous perspectives and looking at how distinct approaches the needs of different Indigenous communities across the country. So stay tuned for that. And then following that will be the Munson Award. Yeah, I right now, before I stop this, I know we're running this. I want to acknowledge the staff of Autism Alliance of Canada who have been working in the background to keep this going. And for all the stickies, the chart paper, they've done a fantastic job. And yeah, they tell me what to do. So I'm glad for them. Thankful for every single one of them and what they contribute every single day. So before we go to lunch, again, the afternoon panel, please meet at the front so we can kind of do a bit of coordination. Again, check out Ben's artwork. That's going to be out in front. And also our exhibitors and supporters. Without them, this would not be possible. So really give them a shout. Introduce yourself to them. There's some of the key leaders in our community across the country. So we got a lot of time for lunch, and I think we are going to reconvene at 1:15. See you soon.